Man, if only it had the swing up wings, I would be all over it. Even if it is only a 15 slot. Okay, now what did I do with my lighter? Oh, there it is. Boy, that new metallic texture really does look pretty darn good, gotta tell ya. Well, I had to make sure that I was telling you because I thought maybe my mic was off. But it's not. So you have to put it with my voice. Okay, well, so that's number one for the stream. Figure I should start when I actually have one in front of me because it tends to not want to have any shown. For some reason, I think No Man's Sky knows when you're streaming. Okay, anyhow, there's one. Here's my actual one that's a 20 slot, so. Oh, and I drive like a. Okay, now that just disappeared in the clouds. Or did it? No, there it is. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. I gotta learn to fly better. I just can't quite get this damn controller. Just don't quite do it right. It doesn't do it for me at all. I need a joystick. Many, many years of using a joystick. It's the one problem with one of those swing up wings. You can't park it in the center of your freighter, or else you have to fly over the wings or over the space that it is occupying. Okay, so there's one. Get high-tech comfortable. Torrid planet. Decaying nuclear planet. The lifeless planet. Okay, well, we're gonna go there. Come on. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to just be accepting and not as picky. Okay, which one do we want? The top one or the bottom one? I would say the top one. Just because. I think it actually looked a little brighter, so I'm kind of curious to see if that has anything to do with it. Because now they've got red trade lines as well as brighter and darker trade lines. Man, sometimes these things are so hard to see. spin on me. Don't spin on me. That other one came down just as I was landing. Not that that's going to make a difference here, but I swear that the game knows that you're streaming. So we shall find out. Okay, what do we have? Anything super good? Nope. Actually, let's do this. Okay. And of course, it's going to go tonight. Okay, now the boring wait. Very seldom have I seen one stop in when it was night. It has happened. Only once have I ever seen one stop in when there was a storm. And I've seen around 50 of them. So, this is the pattern that I do. Usually I land around the dark side. And I tend to see them the next morning. If I don't, I move on. Pretty cool. Class. This may turn out to be a hunt for more exotic planets as well. Because it may get too boring to be too boring of a stream for even me to stand. So I'm a bit impatient. But when it comes to finding S classes, I can be fairly patient. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Okay, we're getting a cargo. Okay. Where do we have our Radnox at? We got it in the freighter. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna go sell these Gravitino balls. We can make some. See if they're worth anything here. Okay. Living slime. Neat. Man, I scratched my head pretty bad on a flipping sharp corner. Right where my headset sits. Never fun. Okay, what time do we have local here? 2:11, so that's good. Because that means that it'll start getting light here pretty quick. One thing that really makes me wonder is don't know how many people noticed, but the sun rises in the west here on these planets in No Man's Sky. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, I landed at the one trade terminal, and that one was landing as I was running up, and I was booking it. And because of the fact that you don't seem to run quite so fast now as you did before, I'm like, run! Come on, feet, don't fail me now. Any minute now. It's ambient 161. And it's dropping. So, daylight. Well, I've only seen the squid ships in red and blue. Kind of neat to see another squid ship. Of course. Okay, 2:43. Minute 35. Ah, that's balmy. That's lovely. It's pleasant compared to the one I was on earlier. Angry sentinels and 600 degrees. And cute predators. You're like, oh, oh crap. What's going on with my health? Hey, quit hitting me. Oh, you're not hitting me. It's the flippin' 605 degrees. Oh, now you can quit hitting me. Gee, thanks. So I'm almost thinking about making that my home world. Almost. It's got radnocks and gravitino balls and cute predators and frenzied sentinels and 600-degree weather. Flippin' perfect to keep the looky-loos away. I don't think anybody will want to stop there in normal mode, I'll tell you what. Woo! 30-second, if not less, lifetime. Better have a crap ton of iron. I don't like those vertical wings on those explorers. They look cool, but I just, What function do they perform? They perform the, hey, look at me. C-class. Nope. All right. Time we got now, 8:13. Okay. Come on, S-class. Well, come on, number 2, S-class. Some of those metallics are awesome. Okay. Yeah. Nope, nope, nope. Gets to be noon. We're out of here. We ain't got time to mess about. I'm already getting bored. see class. Zentonon, and that was a Karishi. Nope, nope, nope. Oh man, I am tired. All right. Okay, what time we got now? 11:30. Yeah, random. I don't think they have the randomizer algorithm tuned at all. I think the problem is they really don't have ships floating about the universe on your individual game. They have set up a environment around you so that just out of distance nothing matters, or just out of vision nothing matters. So they may have a randomizer function, but because they're only within a certain vision distance, they tend to spawn non-random. Or what appears to be non-random, even though it may be random. You know, it may spawn only a specific number of ship type, or types, I should say, but it spawns all three. It may be one of this type, one of that type, two of that type, one of this type, two of the first type, and because they are generating in your environment, they show up where you're at. And even though technically it's random, it isn't. Because they still all show up at your spot. So by the white papers that they wrote, yes, it could be random, but because of the fact that they have to limit the universe environment for each gamer, it's nearly impossible to say really that you're randomizing things, because you're constraining them still. And it negates any kind of pseudo-random setup you have. If you have to constrain it for distance, sorry, it is not random then. Yeah, we are going to look for a GEC technology type system that is booming or wealthy or opulent. We really have to look for an opulent or for a GEC, but that's what we're going to do. Yeah. There's the center. We'll go this way. Corvax. 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 Was that last one? High-tech balance. No. Technology unpromising. Viking. High-tech wealthy Viking. Ooh. We are going there. And sorry if we're going to stick around here, but we are going to stick around here. Well, as long as we can see trade lines, which it's very likely that they're going to be too late to see. Tending to find that when you get too wealthy and opulent, they don't like to be very, very visible. Hey! Sweet! Yeah. Green verdant planet. Irradiated planet. Come on, scanner. Life incompatible planet, so that's pointless. Alright, now which one of these? Let's try that one. Yeah. Because I want all the weapons. That's why there's no free slots. Don't spin on me. Whoa, that's a cliff. Okay. Freaky music, man. What's up with the freaky music? Look at that. Look at that. What is it? Is it emerald? Ah, yes it is. Is that more emerald? Iridium. Wow. It's actually a cool spot for a habitable base. That's not what I wanted. No. There. Why my finger is so fat I can't hit the one without hitting the other. Yeah. B class. Of course, it turns in just as I get it, so that I'm almost have scanned it. Of course. It's one of those with the engines pointing downwards. Come on, S-Class. I swear it listens. Anyone coming in, or is that just, did that continue to fly around? See, I told you, and swear the thing knows. Picks up on your speech. Well, I'm going to turn my mic off for a little bit. Hey Trevor, how you doing? Yeah, it might be a little bit of a boring stream for a little bit here. I was looking for some more of the S-Class exotics. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I made chili. Old McReaper, who is another No Man's Sky and Skyrim and Destiny 2 player that is one of my friends on here through the Geknip gang. He made chili yesterday and was bragging about it. And really gave me that craving for chili. It was just sounded really good, so I had to do it up. Made about 3 gallons. I am in the Great Lakes area, and it's a lot warmer than it normally is. Although I have a feeling that it's going to get cold. And chili is always a good thing to have when it's chilly. Yeah. Excuse me. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that really doesn't, you know, it's like, you know, it's better after 2 days anyway, so I'm going to end up canning a lot of this just to have it, because then it's already made. Yeah, at the start of the stream, what I ended up doing was I was at a trade station, and as I was walking up to it, here comes a S-Class Exotic. Yes, I'm an opulent system, an opulent GEC engineering scientific high-tech system. However, I swear No Man's Sky knows when you're streaming, because I've tried a number of times when I've had a good string of luck finding them, and as soon as I start streaming, I don't see anything for hours. Because the last couple of days, I streamed a number of hours, boring the living poo out of people, and as soon as I would get off a stream, I would find them when I went to a different system, or if I restarted the PS4. You know, people mention that, you know, you get stuck somewhere looking for a specific minerals, or looking for, you know, a specific thing, and you talk about it, and or you're just, you know, looking for that and it's limited. It seems to make it much harder than it really was. It does seem to make you work for things. But anyhow, the other option, after I sit here for a little bit, I might go to another trade station, but then I might go looking for some of the exotic planets as well, which you can find easily enough now, because the star spectral data has been put back in. Yeah, I agree with you completely. You know, and that's kind of why I continue to try to find them, because, you know, I do have 3 squid ships, and those are really low slot count, but they seem to be fairly high performance, and that makes up for some of the lack of slots. But, you know, in my normal mode, I was lucky enough to have been paying attention to how their normal modes have played out, and I did not take the Hakamaku, or whatever it's called. I wandered about the planet because the resources were good enough where I could do that. I ended up finding a 43 slot a 43 slot hauler, took that, and I was sitting at a trade, went to a trade station because that happened to be close by for some strange reason, and I ended up getting an S-Class. And the reason that I like the S-Class is they maneuver enough for me because I am the world's worst pilot, it seems. So I need the extra maneuverability because I can't hit nothing. It's, you know, but I'm a PC player, so having to try to convert my flying abilities over to a controller is a little bit tough, to say the least. Now I wonder if those that HOTAS flight stick will actually work in No Man's Sky. I'd love to have that because then I would at least feel in my element somewhat. That's the one thing that I find really frustrating, is not having key mapping as well. Because I'd like to have one of the trigger switches be the trigger for everything. You know, the right trigger be the trigger for the multi-tool and the fighter, and the left trigger be the, like for example, the throttle or something like that. $38.12. You got 38 slots. 12 of them are open, or what do you mean by the 38.12? Okay. 430. Okay, we're going to go. Ah, okay, gotcha. We are going to go to the other trade station that's relatively close by and check that out real quick. And then I think maybe we'll go check on some of the exotic systems. Okay. And that was that one there? Yeah, that was that one there. And there was another one that came from that way. Yeah, that's nice. That's kind of why it was really tough for me to go with that S-Class, but like I say, because of the fact that I'm not the most talented pilot, I got to think about that side of it. Have you noticed that some of these trade lines are red? Yeah, that's definitely a good mission ship, for sure. Oop. Just went by it. Ah, there it is. It's, you know, and the thing is it's not that I can't fly the ship. It's that if I get another ship in front of me, I start being squirrely, real squirrely. The hell is that? Oh, okay. You know, there's what we wanted. Yeah, well, that's the trick with me because I've got the six S-class ships. It knows if I park away from the landing station, it doesn't necessarily figure that out, or somehow that does not come into the equation. Because I've tried, you know, I've been playing, you know, close to 260 hours or something like that, and you know, I got the 6S classes, and I've been playing around with trying to figure out the patterns to things, and it seems to me that if I land at the trade station, not only does it take up one of the like 5 locations that they want open to land, it seems to me because I've got the 6 exotics, I don't see any. Yes, exactly. They rotate quicker through because that spot that you would have taken is open. .38 slots you could fill with a whole bunch of emerald. But that's kind of what I did on my normal. I had that 43 slot or 44 slot hauler, and I had 5 emerald tubes close by that where I got that. So I loaded that bugger up as much as I could find, and I you know, I I overloaded that market real quick. Yep, exactly. So you can land on, you know, the real tall cliffs like that and not have to go climbing the dang thing again. Yep, exactly. Treeber, what do you play? Do you play PC or PS4? I may have asked you already, but I have no memory at all. So forgive me if I ask you questions that I've already asked you. No, no, I got all S classes. Oh, okay, cool. Are you aware of Geknip Gang? I think I've seen you around. Other than streaming. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I was gonna say if you haven't seen the last couple of cage matches that they've done, man, pretty good. The one that Sue, which is exploring the virtual, yeah, that was kind of tough for her, I think, because kids that were wanting attention and that kind of stuff, you know. But the one King Snake cage match, and then Ivy's cage match that was Saturday, or no, yesterday, Sunday. That was pretty good too. One of these years, I'll get the guts to play some survival or permadeath. It's like say, yeah, exactly. That's just nuts. I mean, because the average, even hustling, the average is a max of about 900. You know, without the pressure of it being a cage match. But like he said himself, you know, it doesn't take much to skew it in the other person's favor because you get on the wrong planet like poor Mick did, and you're hoofing it trying to find plutonium and trying to stay alive, let alone you know going after stuff and making points. You're just trying to stay alive. So I'm curious to see how things will play out. But yeah, he had a good technique of warping over to or warping into high conflict systems and just keeping it rolling. And if they didn't have anything going on, he got the hell out of there immediately. Yeah, exactly. He streamed the other day that he had a stream the other day where he took on a Sentinel mothership with an unmodified Hakumaku. You know, he said it took like 30 minutes to do it, but he did it. You know, that's just nuts. Okay, well, I'll just mark this as a place to come back when I'm not streaming and sit at, because like I said, I swear that it can tell when you're looking for specific items, and it makes you really hold out. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, I was going to tell you at the beginning of the stream, I found that one S class, and I compared the ship and all that stuff, and I ended up going after the S class that I had just rejected, and they've got some real moves too, just impressive. I'm kind of curious to see if they come up with a pirates that use S classes, because that would be a handful. Well, awesome guy. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find some exotic planets and show you how to do that. If you haven't seen, there's a video out. A guy was explaining the star spectrum and how it applies to No Man's Sky universe. And so, long story short, you find a K or an M system, which are the red ones. I think the M's are the reds. I think the K's are reds. I'm not really sure. I found a K, but I can't remember what it was. But they're pretty neat, and they've really made them pretty cool. Yes, exactly. And how to determine the galaxies, even. Actually, a very well done video. I was impressed. I don't remember. Give me just a second. Do I have my phone close by? No, I really don't. Yeah, let me see if I can't pull it up on my own. Just one moment. Shouldn't take too long. Okay. No, it's not there. No Man's Sky. Okay. Zane's World, Xaines, and it's everything about star spectral classifications. Check that out, and that should be pretty awesome. And it's not. I mean, the guy gives you data too. He gives you the percentages of what you're likely to find in those different solar systems. Which is somebody must have ended up putting together or doing the data mining to go through and find that information. M2F. XAINES, or should say XAINES or apostrophe S world is the streamer, and that was released relatively recently, but it's about star spectral analysis. F8, F3. Yeah, what you'll have to do is just, I think you have to change that. I don't have the ability to, okay, good, got it. M7PF. The small p and the small f have some additional differences about them compared to the regular. And he goes into that detail too, and what the numbers mean. The numbers mean 0 is hottest and 9 is coldest, 0 through 9, or I should say more intense. So that's a really good one to watch. Malfunctioning planet. Boiling moon. decaying nuclear planet. Overgrown planet. And a temperate planet. Well, we are going to go to the malfunctioning planet. Yes, yes, exactly. There's usually something strange about it. I want to check that moon. Did I check that moon? Yeah, boiling moon, okay. Told you my memory was no good anymore. The one system I went to before I was streaming, actually like about a couple hours ago before I made dinner and all that stuff, it had 4 strange planets all in the one system. Bubble world. Really wish they had animals at these strange planets. But they don't. So. Okay. Yeah. You love the creepy music. Okay. Was there any other strange planets here? I don't think there were. Temperate planet, decaying nuclear planet, overgrown planet. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. The one thing that I've found, a lot of the rare planets though, like the ones that have the jumping jack type formations, you can't really, the only thing you can do with those, you can harvest some of them with your exocraft mining lasers, but yeah, very true. Okay. But to do that, you've got to, if you're in normal, you've got to, I can't remember if you have to have a base to have a exocraft pad. In creative, you don't. You can just make the pad. You know, I don't know why I run or walk around all the time instead of flying up to it. Probably just out of habit because I'm a horrible flyer. More likely just to smack the walkway and end up just smack the walkway and fall back down again. Yeah. I want to find a K system. See, I've only found the one. Ah, yes. The train. I'm gonna cut my mic for a few moments while that train goes by. Okay, I think he might be done whistling. M1P, Mercantile, Prosperous. Yeah, there's only 3, but we'll try it. The only tough thing about it being warm here is having the windows open and having the train go by. And he's not that close, really. It's just a straight funnel of trees from where he's at to where I am. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure it might. They're also thinking that like the guy was saying, that the P classification may add the potential for the star to be producing extra metals. Glassy planet. Okay, cool. Yes, exactly. In reality, in star spectral data. Yep. Okay, it's just those 2 and then a moon, so. Okay, we gotta get by all that stuff. But yeah, I really like how they've done it. You know, they're continuing to add little details like this, but you know, granted, they originally had it, you know, for the star spectrum, and then they took it away. But I think Hello Games is listening to a lot of the communities. Actually, I want to go to the day side. They're listening, I think. What I would like to see is I would like to see S-class freighters, exotic freighters. I'd like to have the ability to purchase extra slots for ships. Extra slots, purchasing extra slots for the freighters and ships, and your multi-tools to be able to increase their performance. I think that E3 version of the game was probably a prototype that is about many hundreds of gigs, and they can't boil down the data to get it to be usable on a regular computer. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. You know, and they lost a lot of their data when their offices flooded. But any logical software company that has any wits about them would have a backup somewhere off-site. But, you know, like I say, I think they were running a prototype that was massive, because I've got friends that do animation, and they have their own products, and the big problem is for them is they can't release their product without having it able to run on a regular computer. So, I mean, the one guy has a couple of models that are 100 gig to be able to do what he needs to do. I I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious, you know. Very curious. Oh, this is a ring planet too. Yeah. It was 2013 when it was flooded, huh? Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of things in today's world. There's a lot of information flying around that you really can't quite correlate. You almost have to be a researcher yourself to back check everything that anybody says anymore. Yeah, exactly, Trevor, exactly. I said that one friend of mine that has a couple of models that he uses for animations. Those models, it's a humanoid model, and you know, they're 100 gig, like say 100 gig to be able to move realistically. It just there's just hardly any way that you can even consider anybody being able to use that on a regular system. Just not possible, and I think that's potentially what they had is they had a program that was using literally all the resources of the server that they had it on, and the game was probably a couple terabyte. So Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing about Sony and also Microsoft and all the other companies, all the other console companies. They're, when they give out a release date, there's no way that they can back out of it. So if you're in the position of having to produce something for them, I don't care who you are, you're not gonna be able to back out of it no matter what. Okay. We don't have any other moons around here, do we? Darn it. Well, just the textures and the joint locations and the the skin, um, like the musculature underneath the skin. That all has to be taken account of in a level of detail that doesn't make it just look wrinkly. So, with a yeah, probably Trebor. It was a huge undertaking. Well, like I said, that E3 game is probably a couple terabyte, and there's no way they can transmit that. I mean, just to be able to send that over or to have that available for sale would be ridiculous. What they probably had was they didn't have the whole universe simulated. They only had probably a couple of planets simulated where they put all the data in for the animals and whatnot, and that's probably why it's taken so long for them to get where they are, is because they may have said it was generating the universes and they had the code to be able to do that, but at that time they only had the ability to generate that generate that one planet or the couple of planets that they showed. And that's why they can't release that, because that one or two planets that they were showing were pretty much everything they had. They hadn't got the programming finalized for the generating the rest of the systems and the planets. But that little bit showed what the potential is. And eventually they'll get there. I mean, since 1.3, they've made some major strides. Granted, they've made some major goofs all along, but, how many employees do they have? Yeah, I'm kind of curious about 1.4 as well. Any rumors about 1.4? Always rumors about No Man's Sky. M6 or M7? M6 is going to be a little more intense, but M7 PF is going to have some possible interesting bits. 4 planets. Yeah, I think that the E3 was very limited in scope to show what they were actually capable of, but in no way did it show any of what actually was a full, anywhere near complete game. What should I take? Squid chip? Let's take a squid chip. Now the problem with releasing it for the people, like I say, my bet is that it's only 1 or 2 planets or one single system, and it wouldn't be worth the time and trouble. Because another thing you got to remember is that probably required a lot of editing. Because if you look at a lot of the extra, like the special clips of all the what is it? The movie studios, the animation studios, and what they run into. I'm sure that they had a lot of oddball happenings, and they probably had to edit a lot of that stuff out. Just planet, where was that glassy planet? So, the data set is probably huge. The playability is probably nil. Probably 30 minutes and you've visited all the worlds and done everything that you possibly can. So because Sony would have been on, the reason that, it has to be limited like that, because if it weren't limited in the amount of stars or planets, Sony would be all over them to be releasing that game. So it is non-functional somehow, some way. it's not playable. Well, that's one thing about Sony. They've got a reputation that they are unwilling to even think about damaging. So well, the only problem is, like I say, it's probably a game that is one or two systems and useless. So, well, it's like the auto industry. All these, every time you look around in in Michigan here, it's at the auto shows and that kind of thing. You always see prototype cars, and you realize that these prototype cars, there's no way that they'll release them to the general public because they're a prototype. A lot of them are just a rolling chassis. They don't even have an engine. They're just a concept vehicle. And it's like that in all reality. Some of them that actually do work are impossible to make because they would cost too much. You know, carbon fiber bodies, carbon fiber chassis, a hand assembled, hand built, hand machined engine. Yeah. Yeah, it's always possible. It was animation. I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of, actually a lot of movie studios will do that. They'll have a conceptual artist put together animations or even a storybook kind of thing to help build interest and actually to use as a tool to interest investors. You know, because you can't just walk into an investment meeting saying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You want to show them what your actual vision is. And that could easily be what the idea was behind that original video. Do we want to go to the noxious plant, or do we want to continue onward with our adventure? Huh. Good question. What do you think, Trebor? What do you want to do? If you're still there. Any thoughts? We got 2 glassy planets, so I think what do you think? Keep looking for strange, wonderful planets, or any ideas? Ah, okay. Still want to try to find one of the K systems. I must have found the only one in the whole region. You know, with the way that things have gone in the news and everything going on, I don't know what to believe anymore when it comes to hype and media coverage. I don't have any faith in it at all. If I want information, I definitely don't go to any U.S. media sources. I'll tend to check out Reuters or BBC or something along that line. So, you know, and E3 and all that kind of thing tends to fall in that bracket as well, because they thrive on hype. That's how they get people interested. Does that show me the... How far away is that? Light years. Now, that was pretty neat. That was a planet that was 600-degree storms and really cute predators, and you know, it's just horrible conditions. Something that you would really want to have as your home planet. You know, make sure you got a landing house. That's the one thing I really want changed. Because to have to back out of this, especially when you've found a planet that you want to go to, and you look down and you see that you have no hyperdrive fuel, and you have to back out of it. And if you've gone anywhere and checked out and gone over like to here, and you realize I have no hyperdrive fuel, then you're like, now what do I do? I gotta try to remember where the heck that's at. M3. Yeah, one planet. Nope. I'd like to find an M. $1.6 billion in creative or normal or survival or what? Because props to you if you did that in normal, because that's going to take a while. Wow, nice. Yeah, you should just be just about fine for whatever you need to do. That's why I say it would be nice to be able to actually get a freighter and then start modding it, buying extra slots, buying hyperdrive performance, buying additional parking spaces, you know, fill it up with a 9. Oh, nice. How long you been playing? Okay, manufacturing wealthy M2. you know, how many is that? Let's check that out. Okay, okay. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of that, what I was talking about earlier with the problem with the what was shown at E3, there's actually quite a few companies that have ended up admitting that they were showing a, uh, you know, just a video and not a game, you know, a conceptual video. But so I don't know why everybody has gone completely bonkers about getting mad about it. I understand that people were expecting it to be that, but it's like anything in this world. Until you have it in your hands, do not expect anything, you know. Yeah, I think it's a very solid game now too. Although I got to tell you, I have found 4 glitches in 1.38, but none of them are showstoppers. In 1.3, I had one that was, you know, I got 2 billion and it went negative. The problem with that is that you can't do anything. You can't do anything that, you know, when it goes negative, you know. So I had to load one of the cloud saves. And in that process, I lost one of my favorite ships because I hadn't cloud saved in a while. And that's why I've found 50 S-class ships so far, because I'm on the hunt for that one that I lost. So I forced myself to be patient and start looking at the patterns and looking at where to get them and how to go about it. And actually, I'm going to go that side. You know, I found out how to get them relatively easily. You got to spend time, so you know you got to be patient about it. But you know, it's a lot easier than people think, and it's a lot easier now because you have the ability to sit in the trade station and sit in the center, and you're protected from the elements. So that will make it a lot easier for people that are playing normal and survival and permadeath to be able to at least have that option now. But and it's changed since 1.334. I think it's dependent on the mode you're playing, because I was in, like I said, I was in in normal, and the first ship I got was a 44 or a 43. I think it was 44. So the 48s still exist in normal anyway. But I think they may have limited it in the harder modes to make it harder. Because I've heard that from a couple people that they were not seeing them. I really do like the fact that they've increased the elevation changes, because they're a lot They're a lot rockier, a lot taller now. That really does make it much more picturesque. They've done a great job with the tree textures now too, on the icy planets and glacier planets. Well, this is going to be dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're right on the edge of that. It's the only problem, that screen, I'm always looking elsewhere. Limited fauna. Occasional scalding cloud bursts. They've definitely gotten more descriptive in their weather. What do I got? Okay. What changes per galaxy have you seen? What are there any differences? I mean, I've watched people stream that are in other galaxies and that kind of thing, and but they really don't talk too much about what they've found that was different. That's the only other problem about these squid ships is they don't have them scaled properly, I would say. You know, the exotics should be a lot smaller than they are. I gotta take that this ship out of there, out of the center, because it's a pain to have to jump over it, even though it's not there. The designated space that they have for it takes up that spot. Okay. Where's our center? There's our center. GEC technology declining promising, satisfactory, adequate, developing, promising. You know, and I think it's different for different people. Because, like I say, I have no problem. Well, I have no problem when I'm not streaming to find S classes, and even in, like I say, normal mode, I got an S class before I even left the dang planet. What was that? Was that Gek? No, Viking. And some people say that they've been playing for months and never have seen one at all. So I think there's differences machine to machine. You know, and I think that's probably they have it set up. They had it set up like that, which is why they really haven't had the ability to make it a multiplayer, because it's more. Yeah, I'm going to take that center one. They've got it set up individually per individual user versus a mass user interface. You know, you see that? You see this one that's in the crosshair right now? How that looks red? I think we're going to go check that one out. Yeah, I think you start, like I say, you start playing this, you start seeing patterns and things automatically and subconsciously. You're following along with that. Because humans are really good, you know, in the survival bit of our brain. We are subconsciously looking for patterns. Now, did I go right by it? No, it's right there. Okay. So I think that there is something to be said about the fact that you what you said makes a lot of sense. You may not realize that you're getting better at finding them, but you're subconsciously. Did I go right by it? I went right by it. Yeah, it can be nearly impossible. But because of the fact that we are predators, omnivores really, we have to look at things in the way that we can detect a pattern to be able to hunt. And that's coded deep within us, so that's not something you may realize. It just happens. Okay, now where is it? That's the only problem when they're so darn light like that. Face right up to the screen to see if I can't see the... Yeah, there it is. Oh, okay. I've never done that. I've just been, when I find one, I have been just assuming that that's the only one in that system. Oh, S class, not exotic. See, I'm when I automatically when I hear somebody say S class, I'm thinking exotic. But yeah, for sure. Yep, yep. I've seen S class fighters, and uh, it depends on the rating of the system. If it's wealthy, yeah, you'll find some really good stuff. Like some of the metallics that are in some of these are just amazing. Yeah, I have not seen two exotics in the same. But the textures are a lot more interesting now. They've got the metals. No, exactly. It doesn't prove it isn't possible. No way. Yeah, exactly. I've just not seen it, is all. I've not really looked. Like I say, I've just assumed that as soon as I see one, I'm not going to see another one. And I take off. I get out of there and go to the next system. Because looking for the exotics takes a while. So you say what my habit is I go and I park in that sort of location outside the ring that surrounds the trading post, and I come sit on top and I try to land at night usually. Oh yeah, I've seen, I just saw a yellow version of the one that I'm flying right now. I saw that one earlier today, and I saw a orange and gold version of one that I was flying a little while ago. I've seen since Saturday. I've been on, well, I've played probably 10 hours and I've seen 8 of them now, I think. Yeah, 8 of them. I always take screenshots of them when I see them too, just so that I can kind of keep count a little bit better. The other thing that I've seen is if you're at a trade post and they're not there are no ships that are dropping down and coming in and looping down a little bit, you most likely will not see an S-class exotic because they don't fly. I haven't seen them fly in from the sides. Usually they just appear out of the blue because they've dropped in from the sky. But that said, you know, I really can't prove that either, but it's, you know, from when I've seen them. Yes, exactly. Same with the multi-tool, same with everything like that. Yep. I've been watching since it was released. I just recently, like 2 months ago, got the ability to play. But I've been watching since day one as well. You know, just that, you know, I'm older and I've been a computer geek forever, and I've always thought the concept of having a computer generated universe in a game was a hell of a cool thing. And when this was touted as being that, I thought it was pretty darn cool. That alone made me very interested in it. You know, and I was explaining it to some other people. The reason that I don't get into permadeath is simply for the fact that I was a gamer when every game you played was permadeath, because you shut the thing down and you had to start over. You shut the computer down and you had to start from the beginning anyway. So that gets old real fast. You know. When the computer's basically a glorified word processor anyway, and people need to use it for something other than games, you're not going to be able, and you can't save a game, you're not going to really enjoy the games if you can't proceed beyond where you were every single time you've played. It becomes less enjoyable that way. Yeah, you've got to move on. Ooh, oh no, that's just a needle ship. Some of those do look pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't determined what the red trade lines are. You know, I was thinking that they were where the travelers were, but you know, I found out that, you know, I can shut down, restart the game at this trade station, and there'll be a traveler there, or I can have one there and I shut down and I restart the game and they're not there then. So I think that's completely random. Ah, yeah. So you're not a young pup either, then, are you? Yeah. I started out learning Apple Basic, and I thought apples were awesome. I was playing text-based games, you know, Zork. Never did figure that game out, but it was fun trying anyway. And then my buddies had Actually, before that, we had the Ataris and playing Pong and that kind of stuff. That was pretty cool. I think my parents got me and my sister what was called an Odyssey. I think that's what it was called. That was it was all right, but it wasn't the cool thing. It wasn't an Atari. But it was all right, I guess. My dad, even though the family he had a lot of money. He was one of those people. There was a reason why he had a lot of money. He wouldn't spend it. Uh, and that's okay. I totally get it. Dragon's Eye, was that for Commodore 64? What was that? One of my favorite games I still play to this day is Descent 3. Ah, okay, Apple, okay. I'm a PC gamer. Dog Apple all you want, but it's one of those things where you look at their hardware, you look at how they've done things. If an Apple computer has a problem, it is not usually software. It's not crashing because of software. It's crashing because something is actually broken. You got to give them that much credit for sure. And as a graphics computer, they generally outperform anything PC compatible. Yeah, hopefully we see something. My dad had that. He always got me and my sister the cheaper version of whatever we wanted, what we were asking for. He never got us what we were asking for. You know, even if we asked for the cheaper version of something, he got us the cheaper yet version of something, which was kind of ridiculous. But, you know, he didn't have anything as a kid. And he grew up during the Depression, so, you know, everything he got in life, he got for himself, including his job. My grandpa was a real, mean-spirited person. Ah, to the point where my dad went through GMI, General Motors, the their university. My grandpa wouldn't take him to the admissions or the admissions testing, because he always thought that a shop job was good enough for his kids. Well, and Dad proved him wrong, because my dad ended up being the guy whose college thesis was the cruise control and all that stuff on the windshield washer stalk, or I mean on the turn signal stalk. He's the guy that put that all together, and that was his college thesis. So, and he ended up being the head of the research department for one of the General Motors plants, and really made a name for himself. But unfortunately, when you sign up for GM, you sign away your rights for patents. Oh yeah, he's extremely smart, but he's an engineer, so he's sometimes very hard to work with when he wants to do something, because he's hard-headed, man. We're working on a table right now made of like 2-inch thick slabbed oak slices out of the tree, so that the bark is the outside edge, and it's got a bunch of insect holes through it. And he's done like 8 or 9 different things trying to get those holes plugged, and just, he grew up during the Depression, and he only wants to put one nail in things, and to save the nails, to keep from putting too many nails in things, instead of putting, three pins in a or 3 locations on a joint is what you really ideally are supposed to do. Put 3 screws in it, it'll tighten down, it'll clamp down nice. But he'll put one nail in it, and if he uses glue, he doesn't use anywhere near enough glue, so things fall apart. Because he doesn't want to use too much, But I go and I have to chase around behind him and do it the right way. Well, what's our local time here? 5:40. I don't think we're going to see anything here. I think it's going to be a bust, because we got a storm happening anyway. The ship that I'm looking for is this ship. Okay, yes, yep, exactly. The same 1960s, 1970s attitude, clean cut, Yep. If your dad worked for Marietta, yep, in the heyday, yep, exactly that same attitude for sure. Yep, the one that I'm looking for is this exact ship, but with that weird pointy nose with the jousting whatever you want to call it on the front end, and the flip up wings in yellow is the one that I lost. So that's what I'm looking for, because that one really was a screamer. I'm sure the one that I'm find is not going to be as high performance, but that thing was just ridiculous. You know what baffles me is the ones that have the pods on the sides. In my opinion, I think that those really should be a lot more maneuverable than the average uh, S-Class exotic, because those pods would make it be able to spin and turn and maneuver a hell of a lot better than just a stationary propulsion system. But that's just me. Yeah, yeah. The pods that change to go downward. Yeah, those are the ones. That's the ones that I'm talking about. Those things should really be maneuverable, because those pods being able to turn, because you could turn one independently of the other, or one up and one down, and be able to spiral like crazy. Okay, so at first I was until, well, 1.37, where I would find them were the GEC High Tech Comfortable or better. And I've been playing around this last weekend with 1.38, and I'm finding them. I haven't found one at a Corvax, but anything with this color star and high tech, GEC or Viking, I'm finding them at. GEC or Viking and opulent or wealthy. Oh man, I have a hard time leaving before I find one. Adequate. Engineering opulent. Yeah, I'm on the fence about the pod ones. I've had a couple. I don't know. Like I say, I'm disappointed in them, because they really should be able to maneuver a whole lot faster. Because it's like the bow thrusters on ships, You should be able to spin them buggers around super fast. Yeah, I've had a couple of those too, and they're okay, but I kind of like that one, that I'm looking for, because it kind of looks like a hatchet. you know. Where are the planets? Are we not in a planetary system here, or am I just blind? Okay. Did that just now spawn in? Oops. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's when I'm looking. I'm looking for that trade line. Oop, there it was. Yep. Yep. But my problem is sometimes I get close to these planets, and the trade line disappears, and then, like you say, I have to go up to the atmosphere and try to look back at the station and look back at the other planets and see if I can't figure out where they're. Come on, come on, land, 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 land. Yeah, I have to retrace it. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's a mountain face there, isn't it? Okay, I guess we come down here. Ah. Yeah, they wouldn't let me land anywhere. But then again, like I said, they've that's why they've changed the altitude maps now, so that sometimes it's really hard to see what the pitch of the land is. You're a little late, suit lady. Have you seen the new Rasa Mama? I've seen a couple of those around. Rubium. Yeah, there's a ship that has the weird rounded front end of the Rasa Mama, but then it's got a hoop ring that goes around it, kind of like that, and joins back up with the other wing. But it's got the rounded, the real rounded, weird front end on it. Actually, I've seen some with regular wings on it too, but kind of a strange wing pattern, like the original first ships we had. Yep, they're floating around out there. I think one of them I saw was an A-class. It's pretty cool, really. asymmetrical ships I'm not really a fan of like that. Although it's got an R2-D2 on the other side, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, there was talk about they were going to have a pirate day, or a pirate group in the Geknip gang, and you had to have one of the ships that had an R2-D2 on it to be in the gang or in the pirate group. Yeah, man. That's why I'm tired. It's nearly 11 o'clock. Of course, it doesn't seem like I've been streaming for close to 3 hours now today, for this time. What is... Nope. Okay, 7:24. Well, it's probably going to get dark here pretty quick, so there is not going to be a ship showing up anytime soon. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I gotta put the lid on the chili. I'm gonna end up canning that tomorrow. Still gotta cook it a little while. Yep. So, and then get ready for bed. So have a good night. Appreciate the chat.